Have you ever found yourself in a room full of people smiling at the right moments, nodding along while inside you're conducting a silent, desperate audit, tallying the energy spent versus the connection gained, and realizing the math never works out in your favor? If so, you know the quiet exhaustion of the emotional accountant. This isn't about shyness, it's about cost. For some people, every interaction comes with a hidden price tag, a subtle tax on their attention, their empathy, their very sense of self. They don't hate people, they're just bankrupted by the wrong currency. We live in a world that trades in performative warmth. We're supposed to be open, available, endlessly generous with our emotional bandwidth. So when someone starts to withdraw, when they become selective, when they protect their energy like a finite resource, we label them cold, distant, A times gaslighting times narcissist, who's just playing games. But what if we're reading the ledger all wrong? Meet Alex. To everyone at the office, Alex is the reliable one. The calm harbour in the daily storm of deadlines and drama. Colleagues come to her desk to vent, to seek advice, to borrow a piece of her stability. She listens. She offers thoughtful words. She never seems ruffled. And every day at exactly 6:15 p.m. Alex goes home, closes her apartment door, and sits in perfect silence for 20 minutes. No music, no podcast, no screen. Just the slow return of her own breath. Her friends worry. You're too isolated, they say. You need to put yourself out there more. Let loose. They invite her to crowded bars, to weekend trips with overlapping social circles. Each invitation feels like a demand for a loan she cannot afford to give. Alex smiles, declines gently, and feels a familiar pang of guilt. The narrative is so convincing, times the problem is you. You are withholding. You are building walls. Asterisk. But inside a different truth hums. It's not walls she's building. It's a times foundation, asterisk. Every interaction, every absorbed piece of someone else's anxiety or excitement is a weight she's wired to feel, not just emotionally, but times somatically, asterisk, in her shoulders, in the tightness behind her eyes. In a nervous system that processes the world not in broad strokes, but in high-definition detail. For Alex, empathy isn't a choice. It's a physiological condition. Her mind doesn't just hear a co-worker's stress about a presentation, it times simulates times it. The fear of judgment, the scramble for competence, the vulnerability. She doesn't just listen, she incarnates. And by the end of the day, she has lived a dozen extra lives, carried a dozen extra loads. So her solitude is not a retreat from humanity. It is times decompression, asterisk. It is the necessary silent process of separating her own emotions from the echo of everyone else's. In those 20 minutes of quiet, the borrowed weights are gently placed down. The static fades. Her own thoughts, her own needs, drowned out by the day's noise, begin to whisper again. This is the psychology of the emotional accountant, a nervous system with a low threshold for emotional debt. They are not greedy with their energy, they are precise with it. Because for them, spending it carelessly doesn't lead to temporary fatigue. It leads to a kind of psychic insolvency, a numbness where joy and sorrow both feel like distant rumours. The world calls this selfish, calls it a times, Karen times, move to protect your peace so fiercely. But what if it's the opposite? What if this meticulous curation of energy is the only way they can show up authentically for the people who truly matter? That by saying no to the noise, they are preserving the ability to say a full, complete yes to the connections that are real. Alex believed the narrative for years, that her need for space was a flaw to be fixed. She pushed herself into the exhausting buzz of constant availability until one day the math finally broke, and that's when the plot twist landed. Not with a bang, but with a single quiet sentence from the last person she ever expected. It came from the office's most relentless drama generator, a man named David, who traded in crises and demanded emotional collateral from everyone around him. He stopped by her desk, not with a problem but with an observation. You know, he said, his tone uncharacteristically flat, stripped of its usual performative stress. You're the only person in this place who doesn't want anything from me. He paused, looking not at her but out the window. It's why I talk to you, because with you, it doesn't count. Alex felt the air shift. The words didn't compute at first. Asterisk, it doesn't count. Asterisk. And then she understood. David, the human hurricane, was also an accountant. His constant drama was his own twisted currency, a way to keep people engaged to ensure he was never alone. But he could spot in her a fellow keeper of a different ledger. Her quiet wasn't a rejection of him. It was a neutral space, a place where his transactions had no value. In that moment, Alex's entire internal story cracked open. She had seen her solitude as a deficit, a lack of what she should times be giving. He reflected it back to her as a times sanctuary asterisk, a space free of exchange. Her need for quiet wasn't a failure to connect. It was what made her connections real. She wasn't withholding energy. She was protecting the only environment in which genuine energy could exist at all. The guilt began to dissolve, replaced by a slow, steady clarity. The problem was never her balance sheet. It was the bankrupt currency of the world around her. Asterisk, asterisk. End of part 1. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Part 2. The currency of quiet. Asterisk, asterisk. For Alex, the realization didn't arrive as a thunderclap. It was quieter than that. A slow, tectonic settling, as if the ground beneath her had finally stopped sliding. David's words times it doesn't count times lingered. They weren't a compliment, they were a diagnosis. He had, in his own transactional language, named the very thing she had spent a lifetime apologizing for: her emotional non-participation in a system built on debt. And that's when she saw the machinery. Every office has its economy. Not of money, but of attention, reassurance, and crisis. Some people are brokers, trading in gossip and manufactured urgency. Others are debtors, constantly borrowing emotional bandwidth they can never repay. But most are just currency, their value fluctuating with the mood of the room. Alex had always felt poor in this economy. Her quiet was seen as a low balance. Her need to disengage was read as a withdrawal of value. She tried to force herself to spend more, to circulate, to perform the constant low-yield interactions that seemed to keep the system liquid. But David, a master speculator in this market, saw her for what she was: asterisk, asterisk off the grid, asterisk, asterisk. Her silence wasn't a small transaction. It was a rejection of the entire exchange rate. This is the psychological pivot point. What we often call introversion or sensitivity isn't just a preference for less noise. It's often a asterisk, asterisk refusal to participate in a corrupted emotional marketplace. Asterisk, asterisk. When every interaction feels like a subtle negotiation, your peace for their drama, your attention for their validation, your stability for their chaos, the nervous system doesn't just get tired, it gets asterisk, asterisk ethical. Asterisk, asterisk, it starts to reject the counterfeit currency. Alex's need for solitude wasn't a failure to connect. It was her system's way of preserving the integrity of connection itself. By saying no to the noise, she was preserving the ability to say a full, complete yes to the connections that were real. She began to watch the office, not with irritation, but with a detached, clinical curiosity. She saw the woman who'd stopped by with a quick question that was really a bid for reassurance. She saw the man who weaponized helplessness to avoid responsibility. She saw the frantic collective energy spent managing one person's unstable emotional ledger. And she saw her own past attempts to engage, not as efforts to belong, but as acts of asterisk, asterisk self-devaluation. Asterisk, asterisk. She had been trying to pay for her place in a room with currency that to her was fundamentally worthless. The plot twist wasn't David's statement. The plot twist was the asterisk, asterisk reframe. Asterisk, asterisk. Her solitude was not a fortress to hide in. It was an asterisk, asterisk clearing. Asterisk, asterisk. A piece of land she kept fallow, unplanted with the invasive crops of other people's needs. And because it was clear and quiet and uncultivated, it was the only place where something genuine could ever take root. When a colleague Sarah experienced a real loss, not an office drama, but a true quiet grief, she didn't go to the brokers or the debtors. She came to Alex's desk and simply sat. No performance, no transaction, just the shared weight of a real thing. In that silence, Alex didn't offer empty words. She didn't try to fix or trade. She just held the space. And in doing so, she offered something the economy could never provide: asterisk, asterisk, authentic presence. Asterisk, asterisk. A connection that in David's terms truly didn't count because it was priceless. The healing began here, in this new arithmetic. Alex stopped asking, how much should I participate? She started asking, what is this exchange costing my soul? She didn't become cold. She became asterisk, asterisk precise. Asterisk, asterisk. She saved her energy, her real, non-renewable attention, not for the noise, but for the signal, for the conversations that started in the middle without warm-up, for the people who didn't keep score. Her calendar became a map of her nervous system's boundaries. Meetings were followed by blank space. Social events were chosen not from obligation, but from alignment. She became a curator of her own attention, and in doing so, she became the author of her own worth. The guilt didn't just fade. It was revealed as a phantom debt owed to a bank that had never even had her account number. The world will often mistake your clearing for empty land. It will pressure you to build on it, to develop it, to make it productive by its own frantic standards. But you must tend your quiet, protect it, for it is in that uncultivated space that you remember your own native currency. Not the coin of reaction and performance, but the quiet wealth of perception, depth, and a presence that is offered, never spent. You are not a bankrupt participant in their economy. You are the sovereign of a different country entirely. And when you finally understand that when you stop trying to convert your gold into their paper, that's when everything changes. You stop feeling behind. You start feeling anchored. You realize the most powerful connection you can make is to the self that exists whole and untraded in the quiet. And from that place, every real yes you ever say will resonate with the sound of truth. Part 3, the currency of quiet. The world will call it a retreat, a surrender. They will see the empty spaces on your calendar, the unanswered notifications, the polite but firm no to invitations that feel like obligations, and they will diagnose you with a lack, a deficit of hustle, of drive, of the correct kind of hunger. They are wrong. What they are witnessing is not a withdrawal. It is a *** repatriation of assets. ***. For years you have been trading in a foreign currency. You paid for belonging with compliance. You purchased peace with performance. You invested your attention, your most finite, non-renewable resource, in markets that promised validation but only delivered debt. The interest was your exhaustion. The collateral was your sense of self. Alex learned this new arithmetic, not in a grand epiphany, but in the quiet aftermath of a silent walk with David. There was no transaction. No emotional ledger was balanced. She simply existed beside him, and in that space a fundamental recalibration occurred. Her nervous system for the first time in memory was not in a state of negotiation. It was in a state of *** being, ***. The constant low-grade audit of her own worth times. Am I giving enough? Am I interesting enough? Do I count times simply stopped? The hum faded into a profound, resonant quiet. This was the pivot. The plot twist wasn't an external event, but an internal ***, recognition, ***. She had spent her life believing her value was a verb, something she had to times do, times to times prove times to. Exchange ***. David, in his wordless wisdom, reflected back a different truth. Her value was a noun, a state of being, inherent, non-negotiable. The healing was not a softening but a sharpening. Alex didn't become kinder. She became ***, clearer. The blurry, guilt-soaked obligation to be for everyone was replaced by the precise, clean-edged capacity to be for herself. She began to audit her own life with a ruthless compassion. Every request for her time, her energy, her emotional labor was held up to a single question, ***. Is this an expenditure or an investment? An expenditure drained her native currency, her focus, her depth, her quiet presence for a return of hollow social capital. It was trading gold for confetti. An investment, however, was different. It was a conversation that picked up in the middle, needing no backstory. It was the friend who could share a silence without trying to fill it. It was the work that absorbed her so fully the outside world melted away. Her calendar transformed from a ledger of debts owed to the world into a *** map of her sovereignty. ***. Meetings were followed by intentional blank space, not doing nothing but doing the essential. Something of integration. Social events were not obligations to be endured, but connections to be chosen. Each a deliberate yes that required no compensatory sorry. The guilt, that phantom limb of a forgotten self, didn't just fade. It was exposed. She saw it for what it was, a ghost debt issued by a system she never consented to for a self she was never meant to be. She stopped trying to pay it. The notices simply stopped coming. The world mistakes a curated quiet for emptiness. It sees a fallow field and pressures you to build a strip mall on it, to make it productive, to make it count times in its terms of noise and yield. Do not mistake their metrics for your own. Your quiet is not empty land. It is ***, fertile ground. It is where your own true currency, the wealth of unhurried perception, the dividends of deep focus, the quiet compound interest of a self that is times known, times grows. To spend it on their frantic economy is a form of spiritual bankruptcy. You are not opting out. You are governing a different nation entirely, with borders of intention and a constitution written in your own nervous system's rhythm. And when you finally fully understand that when you stop trying to convert your soul's gold into their paper promises, that is the ultimate liberation. The race ends because you've stepped off their track and onto your own path. The feeling of being behind evaporates. It is replaced by something unshakable, the profound steady weight of being anchored. You realize the most powerful connection you will ever forge is the one you have with the self that exists whole and untraded in the quiet. And from that anchored place, every real yes you ever utter will no longer sound like compliance. It will resonate with a deep, clear tone of truth. The world mistakes a curated quiet for emptiness. It sees a fallow field and pressures you to build a strip mall on it to make it productive, to make it times count, times in its terms of noise and yield. Do not mistake their metrics for your own. Your quiet is not empty land. It is fertile ground. It is where your own true currency, the wealth of unhurried perception, the dividends of deep focus, the quiet compound interest of a self that is times known, times grows. To spend it on their frantic economy is a form of spiritual bankruptcy. You are not opting out. You are governing a different nation entirely with borders of intention and a constitution written in your own nervous system's rhythm. And when you finally fully understand that when you stop trying to convert your soul's gold into their paper promises, that is the ultimate liberation. The race ends because you've stepped off their track and onto your own path. The feeling of being behind evaporates. It is replaced by something unshakable, the profound steady weight of being anchored. You realize the most powerful connection you will ever forge is the one you have with the self that exists whole and untraded in the quiet. And from that anchored place, every real yes you ever utter will no longer sound like compliance. It will resonate with a deep, clear tone of truth. Have you ever felt the quiet dread of a blank page? Not the page of a book, but the one that appears in your mind the moment you wake. The one titled, Times Today, And you feel this pressure, this silent, screaming expectation to fill it with something that times proves times you are here. That you mattered. For a certain kind of person, this isn't motivation. It's a sentence. Meet Alex. To the world, Alex is fine. Stable job, tidy apartment, polite. But inside, Alex lives with a ghost, the ghost of potential. The ghost whispers of a masterpiece, never painted a business, never launched a life, not times fully lived, times according to the blueprint of hustle culture. Alex's conflict isn't laziness. It's a form of creative paralysis, so profound it mimics stillness, a refusal to play a game they never agreed to. The world calls this procrastination, a character flaw, a lack of grit. But what if it's something else entirely? What if this isn't a failure to start, but a deep systemic refusal to produce on demand? A nervous system that recognizes the soul-crushing transaction at the heart of most productivity, trading your innate curiosity for externally validated achievement. We pathologize the person who stares out the window. We call it avoidance, distraction, a deficit of ambition. We miss the quiet war happening behind their eyes. They aren't times failing, times to choose a path. They are rejecting the map they were given. The one that says, value is a destination you sprint toward, marked by promotions, platforms, and public acclaim. For Alex and those like them, every fourth step on that map feels like a betrayal, a tiny death of an inner truth they can't yet name. So the body rebels. It chooses inertia. It chooses the blank page, because a blank page, while terrifying, is still times pure asterisk. It hasn't been corrupted yet by a compromise. This is where we misunderstand the psychology of the underachiever. We see the empty canvas and assume a lack of vision. Often it's the opposite. The vision is too vast, too fragile, 2 times a lifetimes to be forced into the crude containers the world has on offer. So the psyche chooses stasis over sacrilege. The plot twist is not an external event. It's an internal earthquake. For Alex, it came on a Tuesday. Another deadline approached, another wave of numb panic. The usual script played self-loathing, frantic, empty activity, then collapse. But this time in the collapse, a clear, cold voice spoke. It wasn't the ghost of potential. It was something older. You are not afraid of failure. You are terrified of succeeding at the wrong thing. The realization was vertigo. Every stalled project, every missed opportunity, every agonizing hour of laziness, it wasn't weakness. It was protection. A brutal, inefficient, self-destructive form of protection, but protection nonetheless. His psyche had been putting its own body in the way of a life that would annihilate its core. He wasn't procrastinating. He was on strike. A one-person strike against a system that demanded he monetize his joy, metricize his depth, and package his soul for consumption. The blank page wasn't a taunt. It was the only honest thing left. This is the moment of recognition. When the perceived pathology reveals itself as a twisted form of integrity. The procrastinator isn't lacking a work ethic. They are holding out for a times-worthier contract. Their inertia is the friction of a soul refusing to be greased and turned into a cog. The healing doesn't begin with a new planner. It begins with a negotiation between the part that wants to survive in the world and the part that would rather die than be enslaved by it. Alex's journey wasn't about suddenly becoming productive. It was about redefining production. It meant asking with terrifying sincerity, what if I created it would not feel like work, but like breathing? What would make the blank page feel not like a judgment, but like an invitation? The answer was small, quiet. It had no market value. It was the act of observation itself, writing descriptions of light on a wall, the slow history of a single tree in the park. Not for an audience, for the act. This was the anchor. The liberation is this: when you stop trying to build the skyscraper, your ghost demands you notice the sacredness of the single perfectly placed brick. The weight of being anchored isn't in monumental achievement. It's in the profound truth of a single authentic gesture. A sentence written for no one. A sketch thrown away. A moment fully felt and never posted. You realize the masterpiece you were meant to create wasn't a thing to be sold. It was a way of seeing. A life lived in deep, unwitnessed fidelity to your own perception. And from that anchored place, any action you take, no matter how small, ceases to be a performance. It becomes a declaration. A quiet, unyielding, I am here, and that finally is enough. If you have ever mistaken your deep resistance for a personal failure, you are not broken. You might be the most intact person in the room. This channel explores the psychology of those who feel out of step with a world racing toward a finish line they never agreed to. If you'd like to continue this exploration, consider subscribing. Leave a comment below. What is one thing your resistance has been trying to protect you from?